Welcome to Donghua Read, the home of epic battles, cultivation power-ups, and the best moments from Chinese animation. If you love Xianxia, Wuxia, and Fantasy Donghua, you're in the right place. We're on the journey to our first 1,000 subscribers, a huge milestone for the channel. Hit subscribe now and join our community of Donghua fans. Your support helps us bring more highlights, stories, and powerful cultivation moments to life. The first showdown between the Sky Mansion Alliance and the Hall of Souls. Just how satisfying was it? Why was Lucky Bro, who was merely a 2-star Dosheng, able to, right under the very nose of the Hall of Souls who possessed the strength of an early-stage 5-star Dosheng, managed to forcefully annihilate a branch hall of the Hall of Souls with tens of thousands of people? Even the Vice Hall Master of the Hall of Souls, a late-stage 3-star Dosheng, despite arriving in time, could only watch helplessly as Lucky Bro successively slayed Guyu and Mugu, as well as the great heavenly venerate of the Hall of Souls, who was a 2-star Dosheng, and also make off with the Hall of Souls, soul essence that it had collected for so many years, without daring to interfere in the slightest. This battle can be said to be the most gratifying one for Xian in all these years, in his fight against the pursuit of the Hall of Souls. A truly liberating victory, as everyone knows, ever since Lucky Bro was just a Da Doshai. His own father was captured by the Hall of Souls. For all these years, he has been living a life on the run, a life filled with fear and anxiety. Even though the current Lucky Bro has already officially established the Sky Mansion Alliance, he also knows very well that with their current combat strength, they are simply no match for the Hall of Souls. Furthermore, right when the Sky Mansion Alliance was founded, that Vice Hall Master of the Hall of Souls used a soul clone, came to intimidate everyone. Xian said he wasn't afraid of the Soul Hall, but in his heart, towards this organization, he was becoming more and more wary. After all, this was just a Vice Hall Master, who already possessed the strength of a 3-star Dosheng. If his true body were to descend, or if Hunmi's Heng came in person, then his Tianfu Alliance would probably have been in grave danger. But as things stood, the time until the descent of the Jinglian Demon Fire was only 9 months away. The Hun clan was absolutely determined to get this heavenly flame. Therefore, the Soul Hall, as a subordinate of the Hun clan, began to prepare for this matter. Which brings us to the main reason why the Soul Hall did not make a move on Xian's Tianfu Alliance. After this, our lucky protagonist headed to the clan of the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python to find the main ingredient for the 9 Yin Yellow Spring Pill. The Yellow Spring Blood S. However, in the 9 Serene Yellow Spring, not only did he rescue the former patriarch of the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python clan, Yao Ming, but he even obtained the inheritance of the Yellow Spring Demon Saint, successfully obtaining his 3 famous heaven rank Do skills: Yellow Spring Palm, Yellow Spring Finger, and Yellow Spring Heavenly Anger. Most importantly, it was also here that Xian fortunately obtained several drops of Demon Saint Essence blood. By refining one of them, he raised his strength to the late stage of a 1-star Dosheng. Later, he heard that the 3 great dragon kings had launched an attack on Xian's eastern dragon island. Xian led Yao Ming, a 2-star Dosheng, to provide support. Thanks to the 2 of them stalling for time, Xian, a 4-star Dosheng, was finally able to unleash the dragon slaying, repelling the 3 great dragon kings in one move. Finally, in the dragon transformation, by activating the brand new power, thus going into seclusion and breaking through to the early stage of a 2-star Dosheng. And now, the turmoil on the desolate island had been more or less resolved. So, when Xian returned to the Tianfu Alliance, Xian, as the Dragon Emperor, also followed him back to the Falling Star Pavilion, the current Tianfu Alliance. During the time Xian was away, the Hall of Souls against affiliated factions had already numerous wars, both large and small. Furthermore, through the investigation of the Hall of Souls by Yao Lao and the others, they now had regarding this mysterious organization, a general understanding. That is, although the Hall of Souls has established many branches in the Central Plains, it has 3 main halls named Heaven, Earth, and Man. Among them, the Heaven Hall has the Hall Master of the Hall of Souls, a 5-star Dosheng, presided over by Hunmi's Heng. The Earth Hall has the Vice Hall Master, a 3-star Dosheng, and the Man Hall is guarded by the one who rescued Guyu back then, the great heavenly venerate of the Hall of Souls. This person's strength is at the late stage of a 2-star Dosheng, and now with the 4-star Dosheng, Xian backing them up. Therefore, Ziyan immediately decided on the Hall of Souls Manhall to launch an attack. It is worth mentioning that, during this time, Yelao, using the Demon Saint's essence blood given by Ziyan, had successfully advanced to a 1-star Dosheng. First, let's take a look at both sides, a comparison of their strengths. On the Sky Mansion Alliance's side, the highest combat power is naturally the Dragon Emperor Ziyan, a 4-star Dosheng. Next is the 2-star Dosheng, Ziyan, as well as the Great Elder of the Pill Tower. The 1-star Doshengs are Yao Lao and Ancestor Huo Yun. As for the Bancheng level experts, we can disregard them here. After all, in a battle of this level, they can no longer play a decisive role. On the other hand, looking at the highest combat power on the Manhall's side, is only the Soul Hall's Great Heavenly Venerate, a 2-star Dosheng. Next is the one who was once by Ziyan, nearly beaten to death, the high-level Demi-Saint Wu Yu. And there is also Lucky Bro's good old martial uncle, Elder Mugu. After this man's plan in Holy Pill City failed back then, he was assigned to the Manhall by the Soul Hall Master, responsible for the miscellaneous task of capturing spiritual bodies. It's just that this person's strength had remained stuck at the 3-star Dozun level. Looking at it this way, the power gap between the two sides is simply worlds apart. Originally, Ziyan alone could have easily crushed the Manhall, but to prevent other Soul Hall experts from coming as reinforcements, Ziyan had this little girl hide in the shadows, and not to interfere for the time being, so as to catch the enemy off guard when the time comes. And the moment Lucky Bro arrived at the Manhall, with a casual palm strike, he sent a group of venerable elders flying into chaos. Among them was his good martial uncle, Elder Mugu. The instant Mugu saw Lucky Bro, he was so scared he almost wet his pants, because he never would have dreamed that his good martial nephew had actually grown to a 2-star level, this terrifying level of a Dosheng. And Ziyan didn't waste any time talking to his opponent. He simply and easily slew him without any nonsense. As for what the opponent got from Han Feng, the Sea Heart Flame, it was naturally also claimed by our lucky guy. In the battle that followed, the 1-star Dosheng, Yao Lao, fought against the high-level half-sheng, Gu Yang. Ziyan, meanwhile, faced off against the 2-star Dosheng, the Great Heavenly Venerate of the Hall. Although his opponent's overall strength was a bit higher than our boys, it was only by a small margin. But the Ziyan of today possessed numerous heaven-ranked Do skills. He first used the 5-ring flame expelling method to test his opponent's abilities. Then, in one go, he unleashed the yellow Spring Heaven-ranked Do skill, 3-piece set. Ziyan didn't even use his ultimate killing move, the Angry Buddha Fire Lotus, and he had already beaten the Great Heavenly Venerate of the Hall of Souls to within an inch of his life. Only then did the Great Heavenly Venerate finally realize, if he had known it would come to this, back when Ziyan had just advanced to the Dosheng level, he should have acted and captured him then. However, just as Ziyan was about to slay him, the Vice Hall Master of the Hall of Souls arrived just in time, but he never would have dreamed that the one hiding in the shadows, Ziyan, had been waiting for a long time, seeing that her opponent was not only the Dragon Empress of the ancient Void Dragon clan, her strength had even reached the level of a 4-star Dosheng. That Hun Dian, the Vice Hall Master, simply didn't have the courage to step in and stop her, even if he wanted to use a spatial jade slip to call for reinforcements. But the space here had already been influenced by Ziyan, using her spatial power. Not even the slightest signal could be sent out. In fact, if he were to remain here any longer, he might even lose his life. Therefore, the moment that Soul Hall's Vice Hall Master appeared, he tore open space without the slightest hesitation, and fled in disarray. As for Ziyan, he didn't let Ziyan press her advantage and pursue him. After all, the most urgent matter at hand was to first destroy this branch hall. If other powerful experts were to arrive, that would be disastrous. Therefore, in order to end the battle quickly, Ziyan, under Ziyan's command, was like a tiger let loose on a pack of wolves. All the people of the branch hall, including Guyu, were completely slaughtered. Not a single one was left alive. As for Ziyan, he went to the deepest part of this branch hall and seized what the enemy had collected, a mass of soul essence gathered over thousands of years. This item was originally meant for the second-in-command of the Soul Clan, namely, the essence for the soul's progressive advancement. What the soul requires, due to the sudden attack by Ziyan and the others, it meant they hadn't had time to transfer this item to the Hun clan. Ziyan, by refining this jar of soul essence, was able to elevate his soul realm to the heavenly state, the perfect level. From now on, even when facing a 3-star Dosheng, he would have the power to fight them. As for why the Hall of Souls Master, Hunmi's Heng, didn't personally come, the main reason was because he was currently monitoring the descent of the purified demonic lotus flame. After all, this particular heavenly flame is nevertheless ranked on the heavenly flame list as one of the top 3. If his Hun clan could successfully subdue it this time, their overall strength would surely increase dramatically, allowing them to better control the other ancient clans. As for the Toshi ancient god's jade in Ziyan's hand, his father, Zizan, was still in the hands of their Hun clan. They weren't worried that Ziyan wouldn't obediently hand over the ancient jade when the time came. So, with them underestimating Ziyan, and with the help he had, our lucky protagonist's assault on the Hall of Man, this one-sided slaughter was able to end in a complete victory for the Sky Mansion Alliance, thus bringing the battle to a close.